In the last 734 days of documenting my life, I've learned 4 very important things. 1. The hardest part of documenting your life isn't recording it, but what you can't capture. 2. You don't learn if you don't start. 3. You have to shake the fear of being seen. And 4. Documenting your life is about more than just the memories. In the past 2 years of documenting and sharing my life, these 4 lessons led me to a place where I never thought I would end up. But I'm glad I did. Let me explain. The hardest part of documenting your life is not pressing record. It's capturing how it feels. A photo, a piece of footage, a painting. None of these can guarantee the viewer feels what you felt in that moment. And even more, your feelings about that moment will also change with time. That's not something to feel bad about. That's actually the point. It's what makes documenting your life beautiful. It's never a perfect record, only a reflection of who you were when you pressed record. The camera was a massive investment in creativity, and I wasn't even sure that creativity was alive in me. Something I didn't even know that I could do, really. There was so much to learn about making videos. It scared me, which is what lesson 2 is all about. You don't learn if you don't start. I started out nervous. I was sharing my truth, but I was afraid to say it with my chest. Mainly because my story isn't that of a 20-something-year-old that's coming of age, that story that you see online all the time, but my story is that of a 43-year-old that's figuring life out, while at this age you're expected to have your ish together, right? In those early videos, I didn't even dare to show my face. So here's what I learned early on. You don't need confidence to begin. You don't need clarity or perfection. You just start, even if you're unsure about it, even if you have a lot to learn. Start scared, and one day you'll be amazed at all the things you've learned about yourself and all the skills that you acquire just by starting. In those early months when I just started, something was still missing. Yes, the creative juices were flowing and I was living my version of the art life. But there was still some type of, let's say, hollowness behind it. Because even though I was sharing my videos online, I was still afraid to really be seen. And because of that, I was missing what I was craving the most at that time, and that's connection. Connection to the viewer. People like you. That changed the moment I decided to drop the fear of being seen. Just a few months into my YouTube journey, I stopped hiding and decided to be a human on screen, a full human. Someone with flaws, gray hair, and uncertainty at an age where you're told that you should have it all figured out. And honestly, it felt like relief. Just showing up, embracing the cringe, it felt like a weight was lifted. And for the first time in years, I felt excited again to make things, to express myself, to feel alive. But even with all of that freedom, the freedom to create, something unexpected happened. I'm realizing more and more that it's not just in creating these videos, in the creativity of it all. That's not the whole story. There is much more behind it. I found that documenting my life and being creative with it in itself is amazing, but the real magic really is in sharing your story. And then maybe that somebody sees themselves in your story and feels maybe a little less alone, maybe feels inspired. And the best thing is that that inspiration will have other people create and share and document their story as well. The real transformation happens in that exchange when what you capture is not just yours alone, but it starts belonging to anybody who sees themselves in it. I think that this way, documenting your life, it stops being just an act of self-expression, but it becomes connection, that real important part. It becomes connection as well. If If you've ever felt like your life is on autopilot, or that you've outgrown the version of yourself you used to chase, this story might be yours too. Maybe you're in that chapter of your life where everything feels uncertain. You want change, but you're not sure what it looks like yet. Here's what I've learned. You don't need a perfect plan to begin again. You just need proof that it's possible. And that proof is what documenting my life has given me. Not just with the camera, but also through journaling, photography, and painting. Making things art. It makes you vulnerable. It makes you start paying attention to what's on the inside. When you start paying attention, really paying attention, then you realize that you don't have to be waiting for your life to begin at a later point in time. Your life is already happening. Right here. Right now. I always thought the beauty of documenting life was in the memories. The photos my parents took of me, the archive of moments to look back on. But I've realized it's much more than that. The fourth and final lesson I learned is about noticing the story as it's unfolding. Finding meaning in the small, quiet days. Appreciating where you live, the ordinary magic in nature, and the peace that comes from learning at your own pace. You're never too old to start again, to pick up a new skill, a new habit, or a new way of thinking. For the first time, I'm letting the unreasonable, silly ideas lead the way. And yes, I still question everything. But now I have a record to remind me of what feels alive, and I choose to make more of those moments. If you would have told me 2 years ago that I would be the type of person that has a minivan and sleeps in that willingly and experiencing the healing power of nature, I would have not believed you. But the proof is here. The small but meaningful moments in this 2-year evolution, documented.